Hello, fellow planeswalkers of all ages. How y'all doing today? I'm back, people. I am back. I am so sorry that it took a little bit to get back into the making the videos and actually the game itself. For those who do know what's going on, I mean, there was something that happened 3 weeks ago that really put me in a bad funk, and I apologize for that. And so we're going to get started on a couple of things. First, if you're new to my channel, go hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and come join the fam, man. I mean, we're a community here, so we need to continue being a community. First, I want to do a couple quick shout outs. John Summers, Richard Monroe, Shane Bentz, Pause Brown, Clever Magic Trevor. All y'all have helped me a lot and talked to me, and I appreciate it very much. And what we're gonna do today is I'm gonna take y'all through my mono black devotion deck that I completely revised from my last devotion deck that I had a couple videos ago, and I completely revised it. So we're gonna do a deck tech on that, and then we're going to do a giveaway at the end of the video. All y'all gotta do to qualify is drop a comment, be a subscriber, like the video, and you'll be eligible to win the giveaway. So, without further ado, let's get started on that deck tech. Let me lower the camera down so y'all can see what we're going with. Alright, there we go. Alright. Let me get this set up for y'all. Okay, so on this mono black build, the first we're going to start off with our 1-drops. I'm playing 4 copies of Vampire the Dire Moon. Vampire the Dire Moon is a 1/1 Death Touch and Lifelink. It's a great blocker, running a full play set of it. It's Death Touch and Lifelink, of course, so it goes in with a couple cards that we got going on in this deck. And it's a great blocker. You get it out very early. It can stop a lot of these big aggro decks. And so yeah, we're going to be running a complete play set of that. And then moving on to our 2-drops. First, I'm running Temerat Chosen from Death. I was running 2, but I dropped it down to 1. It is a legendary enchantment creature. Temerat's power, or Temerat's toughness is equal to your devotion to black. You can tap 1 colorless, 1 black, exile 2 target cards from your graveyard, or any graveyard, and I gain 1 life, or you can gain 1 life for each creature card exiled this way. So it's a good way to get rid of creatures from your opponent's graveyard if they have an escape ability. And it's also can get up to a big blocker and stop a lot of these bigger creatures that are attacking. So we're only going to run 1 of those. Next up in the 2-drop slot, we are running 2 Mira, my Triton. I don't know which one how it's pronounced, but there you go. He is a 2/1 with Death Touch. When it enters the battlefield, put the top 2 cards of your library into your graveyard and you gain 2 life. Now with this, it works well off the fact that you gain 2 life, so that covers a couple of things I got in the deck that triggers off of you gaining life. And also you can put cards into your graveyard and possibly get a creature that you need, and I got ways to bring back those creatures. So we're going to run 2 of them guys, and he's a 2/1. So we're going to be running 2 of them. Next up is going to be 2 copies of Yarok's Finlurker, and he is a 1/1. And when he enters the battlefield, each opponent exiles a card from their hand And his secondary is tap 2 colors and 1 black, and he gets 1/1 until the end of turn. So it's a good way for us to, start taking cards out of our opponent's hand. And the fact that you can pump it and the devotion to it is 2 black, it helps out with our devotion value, and it also, you can sneak in for a little bit more damage if you got the mana for it. So we're going to be running 2 of those. And then next, we're moving on to 3 drops. And let me get this set down. There we go. Okay. We are running a full playset now of Erupting Regisaur. Now, Erupting Regisaur is a 7/6 for 3. And at the beginning of your upkeep, discard a card. Now, that don't hurt us too bad, because yet again, we got ways to bring in creatures from our graveyard. And a dino that is for a 3-drop of 7/6, value-wise, that is pretty sick. I mean, it's a powerhouse. So we are going to be running a full play set of it. Next in the 3-drop slot, we are running 2 Aria, First of Lockwane. It is 3 devotion to a black, 2/3. And its ability is whenever Aria, First of Lockwane, or another black creature enters the battlefield under your control, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Your secondary ability on it is sacrifice another black creature and draw a card. So this one helps us out in multiple ways. Our devotion, it helps out the fact that we're gaining life and surviving, and triggers the next card I'll be showing y'all. And being able to sacrifice a creature into your graveyard and possibly get it back to draw a card is a lot of value for that. So for a 2/3 for 3 devotion, yeah, you can't ask much more for that. So we're running 2 copies of that. Next up, 1, 2. Okay. Set these over here. There we go. We are running 3 copies of Bloodthirsty Aerialist. Now, Bloodthirsty Aerialist is a vamp. It adds 2 devotion to our deal, and it's a 2/3 body, flying. And whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on Bloodthirsty Aerialist. So, with the amount of life gain that we have, we can really pump up this creature really, really quick and be able to, since it's flying, get over top of a lot of creatures that people are running right now. And you could be swinging 7 or 8 in the air at a time, and that just gets sick, man. I'm telling you, I won quite a few games by doing that. So we're running 3 copies of Bloodthirsty Aerialist. Now, our next 3-drop is our only Planeswalker in the deck, and that is Sauron Imperious Bloodlord. Got 4 loyalty, and its first +1 ability is target creature you control gains Death Touch and Lifelink until the end of turn. If it is a vampire, put a +1/+1 counter on it. So let's say we got we do have 4 Vampire of the Dire Moons, and we got our Bloodthirsty Aerialist. So we got vamps in there, and so we can put a +1 counter on it. They gain Death Touch and Lifelink. That's pretty huge. And then Sauron's secondary +1 ability, you may sacrifice a vampire. When you do, Imperious Bloodlord deals 3 damage to any target, and you gain 3 lives. So yet again, it'll trigger Bloodthirsty Aerialist. You can take out a creature, or you can just bang them in the face for 3. Also, it puts we sacrifice it. Sacrifice a vampire, and we can actually get it back with another card in here. I'll show you a little bit later. And so we're running one copy of Mr. Sauron, but its third ability is a -3. You may put a vampire creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. So we can put Vampire Dire Moon or a bloodthirsty aerialist on the battlefield without paying its mana cost. So that's pretty dope in itself. So we're running one copy there. Our next, we're going to move to 4-drops. We are running a full play set of Nightmare Sheppard. The more I play this card, the more I love it. It is a 4/4. Cost 4 and 2 devotion to black. And it's a flyer as well. And whenever another non-token creature dies, you may exile it. If you do, create a token that's a copy of that creature, except it's a 1/1. It's a nightmare in addition to its other types. So, not only do we have a big body that's swinging in for 4, let's say any of our cards get killed off. We can create, like say Aria gets killed off. We exile her, bring her back in. She's a 1/1, but she does not lose the abilities, so it will trigger the ability again from Aria. And then when we play our black creatures, we can still get the trigger off of Aria. And then let's say our Grey Merchant of Asphodel, which will be the next card I'll show y'all, it gets killed off. You can exile it, bring it back to the battlefield. Its ETB triggers, and you get to hit them in the face for your devotion to black. So this is a very important card in this deck, so I bumped it up to 4. And yeah, we'll be moving on next to our 5-drops, which is a full play set of Gary, as I like to call him, but Grey Merchant of Asphodel. It costs 5, 2 devotion to black. It's a 2/4. And when Grey Merchant of Asphodel enters the battlefield, each opponent loses X life, where X is your devotion to black, and then you gain that much life lost this way. So we can gain a ton of life, especially if we have Nightmare Sheppard out and get double triggers on it. But also it gives us life and triggers bloodthirsty aerialist. So yeah, we're definitely going to be running 4 copies of Grey Merchant of Asphodel. And that is actually it for our creatures. So, now we're going to move on to our instants and sorceries and all that good stuff. So, our first one, we're running 2 Shadow Spears. And it's only a 1-drop. And it's a legendary artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 and it has trample and lifelink. And secondary ability is permanents your opponent control loses hexproof and indestructible until the end of turn. So that's pretty huge in itself. And then let's say we equip Shadow Spear onto our Rotten Regisaur or the Nightmare Sheppard. It gives it trample and lifelink, and if you put it on Regisaur, you got a 8/7 with trample and lifelink, which triggers our bloodthirsty aerialist when it attacks. So you can't really beat that, and its equip cost is 2, which is relatively cheap for that type of card. So we are running 2 of them as well. And then the next one we got up will be another 1-drop. And make sure that's all I got in here. Yeah, there we go. Okay, we are running 3 copies of Omen of the Dead. It is a 1-drop, and it's flash. It's an enchantment, and when Omen of the Dead enters the battlefield, return target creature from your graveyard to your hand. So as I was saying before, yeah, you gotta ditch cards with Rotten Regisaur and all that good stuff, but you can return the creatures back from your graveyard back to your hand. And then you can also tap 3, sacrifice Omen of the Dead, and scry 2. I think that's very important in this deck because a lot of these creatures can get put in the graveyard, say Gary, and you can get them right back and play them again, and it busts them in the face again due to your devotion. And so, yeah, we're going to be running 3 of those in there. Next on, we are going to be running alright, here we go. 3 copies of Drag to the Underworld. Normally it's a 4-drop, but it costs 2 less to cast, 2 less to cast for each devotion you have for black. So as long as you got 2 devotion to black, it only costs 2. And this it's an instant speed, and it destroys target creature. So we can take out the big dudes for 2 mana. And at instant speed. So, I mean, you can't really go wrong with that type of removal. That's really good removal. So, we're running 2 copies, or, let's see, did I say 2 or 3? Let me check. 3 copies. Drag to the Underworld. Next up, we are running 2 copies of Underworld Dreams. Now, Underworld Dreams is a 3-drop, and it adds to our devotion. And it's an enchantment, and whenever an opponent draws a card, Underworld Dreams deals 1 damage to that player. So, multiple things this card does. Of course, it adds to our devotion. And the fact that a lot of control players like drawing cards, this card's going to ping them every time they draw a card. And even if they're not a control player, the fact that you're pinging your opponent for every time they draw is unbelievable. And for 3 mana, 3 black, and to add to our devotion, yeah, I'm very happy to put 2 of those in my deck. And let's see, our last spell that we will be running is Erebos' Intervention. Now, Erebos' Intervention is X and a black. It's an instant speed, choose 1. Target creature gets neg X until the end of turn, and you gain X life. And then a secondary is exile up to twice X target cards from a graveyard. So, yet again, this helps us out with our life gain. You can take out a creature. The life gain will keep us alive and trigger bloodthirsty aerialist. And then if they do have escape creatures in their graveyard, we can get rid of them by playing it as well. So let's say you tap 5 mana. It will take, if you tap, or 6 mana, you can take out a 5/5 creature or remove up to 10 cards from an opponent's graveyard and shut down their escape triggers that they got in there. So, that concludes the actual creatures and spells in this deck. So, we'll be moving on to our lands. We'll be running 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 regular swamps. And then we'll be also running 1 Castle of Lochwain. Castle of Lochwain enters the battlefield tapped unless you control a swamp, which we will normally always will have a swamp when we play it. And you can tap it to add 1 black. You can tap 3, 2 black, and 1 colorless, and tap this card and draw a card. Then you lose life equal to the number of cards in your hand. So, even if we're down to no cards in hand, this gives us a draw outlet and would only take 1 damage from it. So, for a land, that's pretty good. It refills our hand a little bit. And as much life as we're gaining off this deck, it it's not too bad to just go ahead and lose the life equal to the number of cards in your hand, because obviously we have a lot of ways to be able to gain life. Now that concludes the deck itself. So I'm going to move the camera back up. Look at that pretty face right there. Now I'm just playing. I'm ugly as all get out. But, anyways, so that concludes the deck itself. Y'all can give me y'all's thoughts on it, see what y'all think about it, see if there's anything that y'all would do differently. So don't be afraid to drop a comment in there. I take criticism very well. And this one is just something that I come up with. It's like I told y'all in plenty of my videos, I do not net deck at all. So I come up with different ways to build a Black Devotion deck, and as far as I can tell, nobody's running no Saurons or bloodthirsty aerialists really in their devotion decks, which I think you should. So now we're going to go on to the cards that will be given away on this video, which will be let me get this out here. There we go. In this video, all you gotta do is qualify again. I'll just rephrase that. Yeah, I said it the first video. All you gotta do is be a subscriber, hit that like, and drop a comment, and you'll be eligible to win these cards. Now, I also got the 20 full giveaway. I will be doing a video on that to get y'all those cards out. So I'll probably try to make one tomorrow. But these are the cards that you'll be available for this video. And you'll get 3 gadgets, a total of 3. And then you also will be retrieving a Sauron the Grim. Sir Conrad the Grim, my bad. So, yeah, so that'll be the cards that you're eligible to win. And I'll figure out some way to, I don't really want to split up the, those 4 cards, because they're not the greatest in the world, but I did want to jump in here with the giveaway straight away. And, so I'll just be sending it out to one person. In the comment section, I'll write down y'all's names, put it into a hat, possibly the Walking Dead hat right here, and I'll randomly choose a name from that hat. I'll write it on a piece of paper, fold it up, put it in the hat, and riffle through it, and that'll be the winner. So that concludes the video, but I am sorry guys that I've been gone for a while. I want y'all to be able to, if you can, please share this video any way you can. We're sitting at 68 subs, I believe, so we're 2 subs away from getting to 70. So we need 2 more subs to get to there. If at all possible, like I said, share the video, and maybe we could get to 100 real quick. And other than that, guys, man, I appreciate everything that y'all do. I appreciate y'all watching my vids, and I promise y'all I'll be doing more. And while I got my kiddos, once they go to bed, I will try to make more videos as well. And I very much enjoyed doing this. Again, it brings a smile to my face every single time. We're a community, and I love hearing y'all's input, and I enjoy engaging in the community itself. So, until then, guys, Fatal Draw is out, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. And may you draw well.